Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And I think everybody's hearing me now. Well, I have to follow an existing protocols, and then would like to use this opportunity to welcome everyone to this, to welcoming Nigerians and friends of Nigeria to this interactive webinar. And I have to just thank you for your time, for joining us. And I believe that we will have a very successful deliberation. So thank you once again for joining. And then I think within my 1 minute, we are all welcome. Thanks. Okay, back to the moderator.
Thank you so much for sticking to the 1 minute.
Yeah.
Now I will hand over to the IOM reps, and her colleague. So after the presentation, the moderation will revert back to. Thank you, Doreen.
Thank you, Stanley. I think there is an echo. Somewhere. Okay, let me try. Do you all hear an echo? No, it's better. So welcome everyone. This is our information session on together with NIDO and IOM on our CD4D project. We'll try to have it a little bit informal and smooth because it's it's Friday evening and everybody's very tired from the work week, and probably also the temperatures are quite high today. So I guess we're all a bit tired. So my name is Doreen de Ketele. I work at IOM the Netherlands. I'm in charge for Nigeria in the framework of the project CD4D2. Before I start officially presenting what this project is about, I would like to show you a video because I think that images always speak better than words. So let me share a video. It will give you an illustration of the type of work we have done in the past already with diaspora. And then after this, I'll give you more details about this specific project for Nigeria. So I will ask my colleague Yvonne to share her screen and to start our promotion video.
In the Netherlands, close to 4 million people have a migration background. Many of them maintain a strong connection to their country of origin. We refer to this group as the diaspora. Many members of the diaspora are well educated and have a strong drive to give something back to their country of origin. As the United Nations Agency for Migration, IOM believes that when migration is well managed, it can be beneficial for countries of origin, countries of destination, and for migrants themselves. Many countries recognize the important contributions diaspora can bring to their the Netherlands.
Okay, something is
origin. The program is currently implemented in Iraq, Somalia, Afghanistan, Ghana, and Ethiopia, with Nigeria soon to follow. Meet Niloufar Rahim. Niloufar completed assignments in 3 hospitals in Kabul, Afghanistan, where she trained medical students and doctors in clinical skills. She also helped set up a clinical skills lab.
As far as I can remember, I wanted to go back to Afghanistan to do something for those who unfortunately do not have the same opportunities and possibilities as I did. I was lucky to be able to migrate to the Netherlands and continue my studies and work here.
With the help of IOM, Niloufar was able to realize her dream. After many successful trainings, Niloufar remains involved with Kabul Medical University. Niloufar is an active member of Kai Han, an Afghan-Dutch foundation set up by Afghan students in the Netherlands. Kai Han is successfully building bridges between the Netherlands and Afghanistan, for instance in healthcare. In North Iraq, Soza of Education, she threats of conflict. Seleshi Yalo went several times to Ethiopia to work with the Bahir Dar University, combating the manifestation of invasive water weeds in the upper Blue Nile Delta. Fatuma Farah, director of the international NGO Hirda in Amsterdam, maintains an excellent relationship with the municipality of Mogadishu. She went several times to Somalia to give training courses on project management to senior civil servants. Amir Haidari did his PhD at the Technical University in Delft on the restoration of the ancient water irrigation systems in Afghanistan. He went to Afghanistan to train senior staff on this subject and arranged a 3-month training in Delft on water management for the Afghan Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development. These are only a few positive examples of diaspora experts who have participated in our program. In total, over 1,000 diaspora experts, mostly from the Netherlands, have joined over the past 15 years and have brought great contributions to their countries of origin. Our IOM offices in the target countries work closely with partner institutions to identify priority needs that can be matched with available diaspora expertise. We focus on sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, education, and the private sector. Within these sectors, we select institutions to work with, such as hospitals, universities, and local governments. We support diaspora to transfer their knowledge to the targeted institutions through short assignments. But usually, the engagement does not end upon return to the Netherlands. Many of our participants stay connected and continue their efforts through channels like online communication and webinars to ensure a sustainable impact. IOM also supports diaspora to build bridges and lasting partnerships between institutions in the target countries and in the Netherlands, such as hospitals and universities. Next to knowledge transfer, we also support diaspora with an entrepreneurial mind who want to start or expand a business in the country of origin. We provide them with tailor-made training in the Netherlands to sharpen their entrepreneurial skills and to fine-tune their business plans. An individual coach is assigned to each entrepreneur to guide them towards successfully setting up a business. Their business ideas and extend their networks. We also link diaspora to Dutch companies that want to explore the market in one of the target countries.
And there's a huge diaspora, a set of people who were educated abroad and who are coming back to Africa because it's now a really solid investment destination.
There are so and is still there. In the continent.
In a constantly changing world, diaspora around the world are important actors to share new knowledge and skills, to bring innovation, to do transnational business, and to build bridges between societies.
For every sector, there's something needed, someone needed to be able to come here. So please don't hesitate and come and participate in this program. This is an opportunity for everyone who has been given the opportunity there to bring back their knowledge.
Do you wish to support our program? Or do you have a migration background and a desire to contribute to your country of origin? Please contact us.
Thank you, Yvonne, for showing this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. So it illustrates, or it showed some of the participants that we had in the first phase of CD4D, and I think it gives you a good, some good examples of the type of assignments that they did. So let me start sharing my presentation. I wanted to I think we're sharing. Just a second. The video keeps on coming back. Okay, now I have to. Okay, today is. Why am I always. Okay, can you see it now?
Not yet, Doreen.
Okay. Just a sec, I'm stuck with my computer.
Is it the link to your presentation?
Yes, but it should work now. I think it will come. Yes,
Yeah.
this is better. I'm so sorry. I'm having a lot of technical issues. So welcome to our event once again tonight. So the aim of this event is actually to inform you about our CD42 projects and how you as a Nigerian diaspora can contribute and engage. I will try not to be too long. So this is a little bit how the content of the presentation. Can you also see this pop-up screen? Yes.
Can you use the present mode?
Yes,
Excellent.
yes,
Yeah.
that's better. Okay, so for the content of the presentation, we just saw the promotion video that we made on diaspora engagement and what we've done in the past and what we're currently doing. I will explain you a little bit about IOM globally, but also more specifically what we do in the Netherlands. And then, of course, how you as a Nigerian diaspora can engage. And to close this presentation, we will also show you a movie that has been made by Nido that features a few Nigerian experts who are willing also to contribute to CD42. So the video we just saw, it's yes, so IOM's history. I don't know if you're all familiar with IOM. We're the UN agency that is in charge of migration. We were actually founded 70 years ago, or almost 70 years ago, as a kind of temporary committee after the World War II to move migrants, and we're still around today. It's only in 2016 that we became officially part of the UN, and we're a global intergovernmental organization. So we have a lot of member states, 173. We're present in 100 countries and we have more than 400 offices and a staff of 11,000 employees. So we have, we're quite a big organization. The mission in Nigeria is also very large. I believe there are almost 1,000 employees. If everything goes well, I should have colleagues from IOM Nigeria also joining this session. So it's good for you to know if you have specific questions for them later that you can, of course, address them to me, but also to them. IOM believes that that migration should be in the benefit of all, meaning, of course, the migrants in the first place, but also the country of origin and destination. So we help governments actually regulating migration in a way that is beneficial to all parties involved, because migration, as you all know, has existed since ever and will continue to exist. So it's better to regulate it in a good manner. So that's how we help governments do so. In the Netherlands, we're active since 91 and we have different types of activities. I think people mostly know us from a program that is called Assisted Voluntary Return and Reintegration. So we assist migrants who wish to return to their country of origin, but only on a voluntary basis. Nigeria is also one of the countries that we can help migrants return to. So if in your network you would be aware of people who would like to take advantage of this program, please refer them to us. When we help returning migrants, we also try to assist them with some kind of reintegration assistance to make the reintegration easier and more sustainable. But I'm here today more to talk about diaspora engagement programs, which fit into the second angle, labor mobility and human development, which is quite broad units. We deal with people coming to the Netherlands. So in terms of integration for newcomers, we try to strengthen links between migration and development. And we also have different programs on labor mobility and skills mobility. But so the program that I try to present you today, CD4D, it situates itself within the migration and development angle. This means that we try to involve the diaspora actively in our projects because we think they have a lot of potential to contribute to their countries of origin. The program I'm going to talk today is specifically focused on knowledge transfer, but you've seen in the video that we also do different things. We have another program, for example, that focuses on entrepreneurship. When we talk about diaspora, people always have different definitions, and it depends on who you ask it to. But the definition that IOM uses is actually quite broad. It covers individuals and members of networks, but also communities and those who have left their country of origin. But what is very important, that they maintain links with their homelands. So it covers the different groups of migrants. We can talk about expats. We can talk also about migrant workers who are based somewhere but only on a temporary basis. We can talk about expats with nationality of the host country. We talk about dual nationals. We talk about second generation, third generation. So it's very broad. But what is important is that you as a diaspora or somebody with a migration background, you still feel this link with your homeland. I'm trying to move it, but yes. As I said before, we really strongly believe at IOM in the potential of diaspora because we think they have a lot of to offer. First of all, you have cultural affinity with your country of origin. You speak the same language. Often you're highly committed to do something in the interest of your country of origin. But then you're also settled in your host country. You try to take the best of both worlds. We can involve diaspora in terms of knowledge transfer. Diaspora are also very important, as everybody knows, in sending remittances back home, even in investing, doing business, and often diaspora can bring in some innovation, build bridges between the two countries. So there's a lot of potential for diaspora. Now a little bit more about CD4D2. It means connecting diaspora for development. So it's the second phase to a program that we've started, 4 years ago. But we have experience with diaspora engagement programs already for 15 years in the Netherlands, and it's a very successful formula. So when we talk about CD4D, we talk about knowledge transfer by diaspora to host institutions. Why are we setting up these type of programs? Because there's often a need for professional expertise in institutions in the target countries, and there's always an available pool of qualified and experienced professionals in the Netherlands amongst the diaspora. CD4D2, it's a 3 years program. We're almost at the end of the first year, so we still have 2 years to go. And we focus on 4 countries, so Nigeria, Afghanistan, Somalia, and Iraq. It's the first time that we're dealing with Nigeria. The other three countries, we've already run similar types of programs before. But Nigeria is new to us, and we're very excited to start, to start this new chapter with Nigeria too, because we see there's a lot of interest and a lot of potential. So, what can you expect from a program of CD4D? CD4D, actually, we try to, so for the 4 countries that we're focusing on, we always choose priority sectors. And within these priority sectors, we identify institutions that we're going to work with. And these institutions, they let us know what kind of expertise they are looking for to build up their capacity. And then we try to match their needs with the expertise that exists here in the Netherlands. So if we find a match, then normally we send out people on assignments for 1 to 3 months. I must say that in our previous projects, we were mainly focusing on physical assignments, meaning that people would actually travel to the country and stay there for 1 month minimum, up to 3 months. Of course, everybody knows that now we're in a different situation with COVID-19, so it puts a little bit of a challenge to what we were used to do. So if there are travel restrictions, and in other countries we've already started also with virtual assignments, because we think that a lot of the assignments can actually be done also online. And then we hope that once this whole situation normalizes a little bit again, that we will be able to send out people physically again. And ideally we would have a combination of some virtual assignments combined with then an actual travel to Nigeria. Our program is based on voluntarism. That means that it's not considered as a real job for a long time with a high salary, but of course there's a compensation for the work that you invest and for the time that you invest, and also for the costs that are involved, especially when traveling there. So we have a website which is called connectingdiaspora.org, where we publish vacancies. So you can have a look later after this session at the vacancies section. If you see that at this point in time there is no vacancy that would fit your profile, we also have a specific section to upload your CV. So you can always upload your CV. Which shows your interest in this program, and then we have you in a database, and we can contact you later if we see that there's some opportunity that might actually fit your profile. So what can we expect from the assignments? So we're always looking, of course, for committed candidates. We give allowances, which is it depends. It's daily or monthly, depending on the time of the assignments. And of course, if there is travel, of course we cover all costs related to this, and also in insurance, which is also good to know, especially in these times of COVID-19. So based on the candidate's interest and expertise, we will try to match it with the needs of institution. And then what happens is, when we have a pool of, or when we have, let's say, 5 interested candidates in a position, we will make a short list and we will share it with the host institution, and they will make the final selection. And then once a person is selected, we'll make a work plan. And then, depending again on the length of the assignment, we expect also the expert to share monthly reports on progress that has been made. Throughout the program, we're also working together with the Maastricht University, because they're trying to evaluate the impact of these kind of programs. So they might also, if you're a participant to this project at a certain point in time, you might also be asked by the university to fill in some questionnaires about how the assignment is going. So more specifically for Nigeria, we have 3 sectors that we will focus on. The first one is health, the second one is agriculture, and the third one is ICT. Within these sectors, the ministries, I mean, this whole identification program process of identifying sectors, but then also priority areas, has been the work by our IOM colleagues who are in Nigeria, together with the respective ministries and also even with the Dutch embassy in Nigeria. So we've come up with health, agriculture, and ICT, as I already mentioned. Within health, more specifically, we would like to focus on tuberculosis and leprosy, on mental health, psychosocial hypertension, then everything related to the impact of climate change on health, and then also a lot of specific specializations within medicine, like radiology, cancer care, spine surgery, although this is very specific, so we have to see if we will be able to find the right match for that. So within health, we have already identified 3 beneficiary institutions, but there will be more that we will add to the list at a later point in time, because this whole process again of identifying institutions and priority areas, of course, it's a whole process where IOM communicates with the ministry, and again, in these times of COVID, it's not always so ideal or so easy to communicate and to sit together to make progress. But we have already 3 hospitals that we have identified, so you can see them here on the screen. If we talk about ICT, there's also priorities that have been identified: developmental regulation, digital literacy, solid infrastructure, service infrastructure, digital services development, soft infrastructure, emerging technologies, indigenous content promotion and adoption. For these ICT areas, we have 3 beneficiary institutions, and these are final. So you can see the National Information Technology Development Agency based in Abuja, Galaxy Backbone, and NICOMSAT. For these 3 institutions, we have actually published the first vacancies. So we are very excited to have the first vacancies online for Nigeria. So if among this audience there's already some ICT experts, I would advise you after this session to have a look at our vacancy page and see if it fits your profile. And if you're interested, you can just click the button and apply to these positions. So probably in the beginning it will be a virtual assignment. For these 3 vacancies, we have an assignment up to 3 months. But we're always flexible as IOM to adapt it to the needs also of the experts, or to the availability of the expert, because I know that a lot of you are probably already professionally involved and can maybe not always dedicate 100% of their time. So we can always find flexible arrangements in collaboration with the beneficiary institutions. And then the last sector that we would focus on for Nigeria is agriculture. We have greenhouse development and management. We have tomato seed breeding. We have horticulture production, tractor and equipment repairs, and fabrication of agricultural equipment, especially the greenhouses. Also for this, we've received a long list of potential beneficiary institutions. We'll still have to make a focus. So both for health and for agriculture, we're working on the first vacancies, but we haven't published it yet, because we still need to review them a little. But also for the other sectors, you can expect vacancies quite soon. Okay. I will stop sharing my screen for a second, because this the other video that we just saw, is a video made by Nido. I think we can maybe show the video of Nido first, and then we can just go to the Q&A session so that everybody can just type their questions into the chat, and I will be more than willing to reply to all of your questions together with my colleagues of IOM Nigeria. So now I would like to ask my colleague Yvonne if she's there, if she can find the video of Nido that they made. It's a video that has been made recently, and I think it's very nice. It has a very nice results of some of you that were interviewed as potential experts who are willing to contribute to CD4D. So let's see if. Thank you, Yvonne, for sharing the video. I think your duty is is over. So this was it actually as an introduction presentation about what the project CD4D is about. So I encourage everyone with questions to type it in the chat, as Stanley already mentioned, and then we will be happy to expand and give more details on everything you would like to know. So maybe I will give the floor to Stanley, who will moderate this Q&A session.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Doreen, for the elaborate presentation. And just to reiterate to all the participants, we are going to share the slide at the end of the session. The slide including the videos, because the NIDO video was actually ready today, because it took so much effort to get it ready before this. Actually, it was actually sent in not few hours before this event. So we are grateful for that. So the first question that was asked from Chris, he said, "This is Chris here. Do you have local NGO as partner already that you are working with in Nigeria on, or are you seeking for one?" Doreen, can you help elaborate on that?
Yes, on this, I mean, as IOM in Nigeria works closely together with NGOs in different areas, but I must say that in the framework of this specific project, CD4D, we are mainly working with governmental counterparts and institutions. So there are, we don't normally do capacity building for NGOs in the framework of this project. But I don't know if you have a specific NGO in mind, but of course our colleagues we have lots of other projects in Nigeria. They always work in close collaborations with NGOs. But for this particular program, no, you have seen the list in the presentation of beneficiary institutions, and they're mostly governmental related.
All right. Thank you. Just a quick one. I would encourage everyone to, if you have a question, please feel free to write it down. This session is going to end by 9:30, so we have at least 40 minutes. So there is a lot of time to entertain questions, okay? And also just to reiterate as well, this is not solely a NIDO focused project. In the video that you guys just watched, half of the presenters are not even NIDO members, they are Nigerian experts that we took the liberty of sourcing and reaching out and ensuring that everybody participates. So this is open to all Nigerian experts in the Netherlands who have the required skills. And hopefully at the end, it will also encourage you to reach out to other Nigerian experts and for them to participate as well. The second question from Atumonye, he wrote, excellent opportunities for Nigerian experts to contribute back home. Does the IOM office have any capacity building session for interested persons before taking up any of those responsibilities?
Yeah, actually, we provide within CD42 when we select experts, we provide them with 2 pre-departure sessions, which should prepare experts to yeah, it gives a little bit more insight on how you can actually transfer knowledge on tips on communication, on how to deal with counterparts, on how to make clear what the institution is actually expecting from you with your assignment. If your terms of reference are clear, how can you, if it's not, how can you make this clear? So it discusses a lot of these challenges also that you might come across when you actually go on an assignment, because it's not always easy to understand exactly what people expect you to do. It's always very important for us also when we select somebody or when we work with a host institution, that we know exactly like who this person will be working with directly and who will be the manager of that person. So there's a little bit of structure also in the team that the expert will be working with. So we discussed a lot of things in this pre-departure session. It's also based a lot on real life scenarios and a kind of a role play. So it's we do it in small groups. Normally in non-COVID times we did like physical trainings for the whole day, but now we do 2 half days also online, because we cannot physically meet, and we have a specific trainer for this who also talks about yeah, cultural differences. Maybe I think because a lot of you maybe have been living in the Netherlands for a long time, and then there's also things related to communication or authority, or things that are maybe culturally a little bit sensitive that you might have forgotten also. So I think, yeah, we try to prepare the candidates in this sense. But I don't know if I replied to the question. If it's not clear, you can always take the floor also and tell me if I have to if I have to give you a little bit more information.
All right. Thanks. All right. He wrote it's clear. Thanks.
Okay.
Good. Thanks, Atmoye. Kema wrote, great presentation. Thank you. Kema, thank you as well. The ICT vacancies seem very specific to people with technical skills. Does IOM also have similar vacancies for folks with general business skills?
Okay. For the vacancies we now have up, it's indeed in the ICT sector, and it's quite technical indeed. General business skills, we will have to see if it will fit within one of the three sectors. Even if we choose, for instance, health, sometimes the beneficiary institution can identify needs that are maybe not necessarily medical, but that can also be like more in terms of management or how to deal with human resources. So there's always possibilities to broaden it up, but it really depends on what the host institutions express as specific needs. And yeah, in general they're more open to to specific a specific expertise. But that shouldn't stop you from if you're interested in the program, and if you think that there is nothing at this point that would fit your profile, you can always upload your CV, and then we have you in a database. And even if sometimes we think that vacancies are maybe a little bit too specific, we can also always try to broaden it up a little bit so that it's easier to find a match among the diaspora community in the Netherlands.
Okay, thanks. Just a quick one, everyone. If you need more clarity on the question on her feedback, you can also rephrase the question again on the sentence, or we could give you the possibility to also ask it by yourself. If it's not as clear as you would have loved to, we can always do that, or you rephrase the question. Thank you. From Tochukwu Arinze, he wrote, and I quote, "I think digitization of medical records is central to public health research and involves both health and ICT. I'm not sure if it is something IOM is hoping to help with in Nigeria." What do you have to say about that, Doreen?
Yeah, I think to me it seems a very relevant scope of work that could be done in Nigeria, and it's true that sometimes we view ICT as a specific sector, but actually ICT is more like cross-sectoral because I think that all sector needs some kind of digitalization, especially at this point. So it's not excluded, I would say, but again, it depends on what the institutions that we're working with or the hospitals that we're working with express as their needs, and also what the ministry considers as a priorities, because our project is really demand driven, so it's not up to us to say that this might be interesting if they haven't expressed it in the first place. But I don't even know if any of my colleagues from Nigeria is in, because maybe this is also something that they could reply. Let me check the list, or I can just.
I think one of them is in. Maybe you have to check.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
we're here.
Good.
Okay. Would you like to
Hi,
add
good evening.
Hi, would you like to add something to this and introduce yourself maybe first? It's nice to have you.
Okay, my name is Chukwemeka Anene. IOM Abuja. I'm with the Migration Management Unit here in Abuja.
Hello, welcome. Okay, let me rephrase the question that was asked so that if you can add something to what Doreen explained, that would be lovely. And the question was from Tochukwu Arinze. He asked, I think this digitization of medical records is central to public health research and involves both health and ICT. I'm not sure if it is something IOM is hoping to help with in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually that's actually very well, the field that seems to be how would I put it, lacking down here. So medical records are still largely paper dependent and all that. But within the scope of, even though it's called CD4D2, this is the first time we actually implemented CDP here in Nigeria. And the focus areas, the scope, it's there was specified agri, health, and ICT. What Tochukwu is talking about is cross-cutting across two sectors, health and ICT. And what we can do is to consider it for the future. That's the truth about it, because like Dorian said, project is largely demand driven, and however, if the Ministry of Health, for instance, had expressed interest or chosen this particular field as an area of as a particular area of, perhaps we would have looked into it. But they gave us their specifics. These are the areas where they have, these are the institutions that responded to those to requests, and so digitization of medical records wasn't part of it. But maybe in future that's what we would suggest. But for now, it's not covered in this particular one.
All right. Thank you. Chukwemeka, if possible, could you also maybe write it down something like a to-do list for the future as well, like you're just saying, so that if there's an eventual CD43 and Nigeria is a member state, it could also be taken into consideration as well, if that is possible.
It's something. I mean, it's a laudable idea, and it's something for you. So
yeah. All right. Excellent. Thank you.
We will make a list, I think, of action points also to follow up based on the questions that you have. But we still have 2 years for the implementation of this project, and we're still in the initial phase, so everything is still we have the three sectors, which will not change over the course of this project. But I mean, the type of assignments or the exact how we will exactly frame them, I think within this scope we still have quite some margin. So it's not excluded for now.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. So what you are trying to tell the audience is that there is a possibility that within the action point and the questions that are asked by the attendees, by the Nigerian experts, there's a possibility of expanding the scope to incorporate more needs based on the skills that we can
If it
identify
would
here,
fit
right?
the demand of Nigeria, yes, I think everything is still possible.
All right. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Um, this next question comes from Anshuma. He says, can researchers from other parts of the world be part of this project? I'm from India and a doctoral student of diaspora and migration studies.
Yeah, in principle, that's yeah. In this type of programs, we always engage people with the same migration background as as their country of origin. So we have never actually sent out maybe a person from India to Nigeria, even though in terms of expertise, it could be a good match. But the whole idea of this project is actually to involve, yeah, diaspora who have a direct link to the country of origin and who have cultural affinity, and also often language for Nigeria not necessarily the case, but for other focus countries. The advantage of the diaspora is also a linguistic one. So we don't have it in this project for India, but IOM certainly has other countries focusing on India. So I can always check if similar initiatives exist also for Indians who would like to contribute to the development of India. So you can always, I will write my email later in the chat as well, so we can always follow up per email on this particular question.
All right, thank you. The next question is from Ngozi. She's asking, do you already have contact persons or established structures in the identified institutions? If not, how do you go about the process?
Yeah, I think the whole process has been a little bit of a lengthy one because it's the first time that we include Nigeria in our CD4D project. So it's a lot of, first, it's a more, let's say, discussion at central level with the ministries of the sectors that we have identified. And then it trickles a bit down from central to identified institutions. And then we have specific focal points. I don't know if, again, my colleague Emeka would like to add something on the process. I know that also with these COVID times, it has been a little bit difficult because this whole discussion process and was well on its way when lockdown came, and then it becomes very difficult to talk to governmental officials, of course, because everybody is working from home. And then if decisions have to be made, it's a little bit more complicated to have collaborative decisions between certain different institutions. And so it's been a little bit lengthy, but now we came at a point that we have the identified institutions and also the focal points, and it's with the focal points that my IOM colleagues in Nigeria follow up then for the specific needs and vacancies that they would like to publish. But again, Emeka, I will pass the floor to you if you want to add something, because you've been on the ground doing this work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, with regards to structure, okay, so let me use the ICT for instance. We have the Federal Ministry of Communication Technology and the economy. Now, under this federal ministry, we have several what we call parastatals under this ministry, an agency. So, our first point of contact are the ministers themselves, Minister of Health, Minister of Communication, and of course the Minister of Agri. So it is now the minister who it's from the it is at the ministry level that they decide which of their agencies have certain needs. So they write to all their agencies, if you have needs, I mean, this opportunities available. If you have needs in certain areas, please let this thing be. So, for instance, ICT Ministry, 3 agencies responded. That's the Night Concert, NIDA, and Galaxy Backbone. So we've just been following it. It is until we publish the TOR and then we secure the consultants. That is when we can now start having more direct communication with the agencies. For now, we are still communicating the agencies through the ministry. And it's very, very important to continue doing that so that government is carried along with what we are doing. So, because I mean, we've had there could be situations where you go and then start dealing directly with these agencies, and then at the end of the day, you will not get result want. Okay, so so for now, that is the format we're following, straight from directly from the ministry and then to the agencies. So that's how we're doing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chukwemeka. The next question is from Ngene 101. He says, what happens when the expectations of the institution is not met by the professional choosing for the assignment? I mean, so his question is, what happens next if the expectations are not met?
Yes, I understand the question. So when we hire an expert, we sign a contract with the expert, but we also have a contract with the host institution, and actually both parties can end the assignments at all times. There can be either the experts can maybe not be satisfied with the type of work that he or she is doing. I hear some noise, but I don't know where. Yes, now it's better. So yes, I told you that both parties have actually the liberty or the right to end the assignment at all times. I must say that in the 15 years that we've had this type of programs, it's rarely happened, but it can happen, of course. So it can either be that the expert feels unsatisfied because maybe the work in practice doesn't correspond so much with what the expert had expected, and maybe the expert might come across certain obstacles that make it difficult to reach the objective. So you as an expert can decide, okay, that's it, and then your compensation goes until the day that you've been involved with the project. And the institution on the other side can also express that maybe they're not satisfied with the work of the experts, and then again we can end the assignment. But I must say that it hardly ever happens, and if it happens, then normally it's also not a black and white situation, or not a situation where you end something from one day to another. Then often we try to see as IOM as a kind of a middle institution to see what has happened, and then we listen to both parties and we try to mediate if maybe we can do something very simple that could make it work again. And it's only if we believe that even with our efforts and with the goodwill of both parties, if even like this it could not work, then we just end it. So I think it's good to know that both parties have the right to end the assignment.
Okay, yeah, just to clarify, both parties have the right to withdraw from the assignment
Yes.
if they want.
Yes.
Right, that's good to know. So the next question comes from Ajibola Ido. I think also he or she asked twice, so I will try to merge it to help so that you can be able to answer it at once. So the first question is, thank you for your presentation. I'm a medical doctor, also an MPH student here in Netherlands. Is there employment opportunity for someone like me? And furthermore, I work as an hospital consultant in a faith-based tertiary healthcare institution in Nigeria. Is there a way a private hospital can be relevant to your work?
Okay, thanks for the question. I think, yeah, in the framework of this project, it would be possible to include private hospitals, but again, it's more of a program where we try to support the government in Nigeria with the needs that they have in governmental agencies and institutions. So for the health sector, for now, there is nothing in the private health sector. But if you're a medical doctor and an MPH student, I think you would have probably a good profile to look at the vacancies that will come up in the health sector.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Udoshi. She wrote, I'm a Nigerian American and I'm currently living in America. Is there an opportunity or a possibility for me to get involved, even if I'm not in the Netherlands?
Yes, we've had this type of situation. In principle, the project is supposed to, let's say, favor people that are living in the Netherlands, also because our project is funded by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So they like to see also people that are residing in the Netherlands participating to this project. So if all of our experts would be based in America, that would be a problem. But if it's for a few cases, it's always possible. Especially, we've had a lot of situations where diaspora members are based in other EU countries, and recently also somebody in America that was the only one with a very good profile to match the only one with who was a good match for the assignment, so that was possible. But it remains the exception, I must say.
Okay. So your response is on a case by case, or if
No,
there is
it is
no
possible,
extra.
but if tomorrow everybody would apply from America, it's not like we would no. If you're in a competitive advantage compared to others based in the Netherlands, yes. But in principle, yeah, we favor people who are living here.
Okay. Okay. The next question from Eba. He said, I am Eba from Wageningen, and thanks for the presentation. The agriculture priorities exclude post-harvest activities or value addition, but 30 to 50% of agricultural produce is lost along the value chain. Why is value addition such as food processing and design not included in your focus area?
Okay, I think that's a good question. To me, also, this seems like a very relevant priority area. Again, this is only the first phase or the first project that we do with Nigeria, and I guess that when the priority areas have been decided, there's always choices to make. So I think that doesn't mean that your suggestion would not be relevant in Nigeria. Probably it would, and probably the ministry would also consider as something valuable. But for now, it hasn't been included. But again, I think that we still have 2 years to go. So if along the way we would think that based on the needs that are expressed, that this would be something that could fit, I think it can always be it could always be added.
Okay, thank you. Just a quick one to remind the participants, we have around 15 minutes to go. We are ending 9:30 to be exact. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to keep writing it. We still have 15 minutes to go. Thank you. The next question is from Ngozi. She wrote, hope the process is not so political.
I think you skipped one, or we had it already.
Yes, I
That's
already
true.
matched that one. Yeah, yeah.
No, I think the process is not political. We are not a political organization. IOM, of course. We have a lot of member states that are a member of the organization, and we believe in working with governmental counterparts too in all the projects that we are running. But that doesn't mean that the choices of what has or the choices of the sectors are political. No, I think it's really based on needs, and I think it's also a process. This whole process of identification has been done. It's actually between three parties: IOM, the Nigerian government, and even also what the priorities are for the Dutch government. So we also are in touch with the Dutch embassy in Nigeria, and they also have a priority area. So we try to find a middle way in what are priorities to everyone. And yeah, I don't know if Emeka, you want to add something to this?
Okay, I can understand his concerns. That's to it being political. One thing what she needs to also know is that in coming up with the priority area, especially in institutions, we also make sure we try to not guide now, we work with the ministry to ensure that the beneficial institutions are spread across Nigeria, considering the geopolitical nature of Nigeria. So we try to make sure that these these institutions are spread across, so from the north to the south to the east to the east. So that's it's really it's really being considered. So every part of the country, especially those that have responded, you know, they are being covered. So we are considering that it's always been top priority to consider, making sure that it's spread at least to a great extent to every part of
Okay,
it. So that's it.
okay. Thanks. Yeah. Also, that takes me also back to because with the Doreen's presentation, also she mentioned that a more host institutions will be also recommended in the area of
Health.
health, right? So I think that answers the question, the feedback from Emeka that is going to be spread across the nation. All right, thank you.
Sandra, I want to take the opportunity also because
Yes.
I saw that our other colleague from Nigeria, Ukamaka, that you also know, she's also online. So I would like to ask her maybe if she if she wants to say hello to the audience and maybe add something to the discussion that we already had. Ukamaka, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hi, good evening, Doreen. Good
Yes,
evening,
good evening.
everyone. Good evening. Just apologies for joining late. I had a bit of technical issues. I'm sure that update has already been. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
I said that I'm sure that update has already been provided on where we are on the project in Nigeria. Basically, we had a bit of a delay because of the COVID-19 situation, the lockdowns and the restrictions that have been in place. However, we continue to see a continued easing of the restrictions by the government. And as at date, we have almost the public service back to full operational levels. So we hope that with that we'll get better responses to our various correspondence with the government, and hopefully for the other two sectors, that's the health and agriculture, sooner than later, we'll be able to have specifics in terms of the priority areas and the terms of references that would be advertised. On our side, we're also excited, and we're looking forward to having a good number of Nigerian expats in diaspora in the Netherlands participating in the project, most especially as it's the first time for Nigeria to be part of the project. I want to thank all the executive of the NIDO that have been working very closely with our colleagues at Hague on this project, and we're hoping that everything will have a smooth implementation generally. Thank you. Over.
Thank you, Kamaka. And nice that you joined.
All right. Thank you. So the next question from Ngene 101. He wrote on the focus area in health. Sorry, that was from Dr. Solomon Adejo. Sorry. Dr. Solomon Adejo, he wrote, what are the plans for continuity of the project?
Let us, yeah, I would say let us first start with this phase, and I think there's no reason why it would not be successful. And then, as I said, we've been running these type of programs for over 15 years, and often countries come back because they stay kind of also the focus countries have been chosen a bit in terms of priorities for the Dutch government, and Nigeria is definitely one of them. So I would say that if this CD4D2 is going well for Nigeria, and I think there is no reason why it should not, then I'm sure we can have an extension in time and probably also an extension in sectors for a next phase. So I would encourage all of you to apply and then to do a good job, and then it would help opening up more opportunities for us in the future.
All right, thanks. The question from Chris. Sorry, from Gen 101. So his question is on the focus area in health. Is the impact of climate change? Sorry, on one of the focus area in health is the impact of climate change on health. This sounds more like a research-based project that can take several years. So that's a question, but not a statement.
Yes, I can see. Yeah, we haven't had any vacancies related to this priority area yet. So I'm also not sure how this would be phrased within an assignment that is limited in time. But I don't know, Emeka, if you have more insights on this, on would it be like a long-term assignment, you think, more in terms of research, or have you already had discussions on this, or is it still to be defined a little bit?
Yeah, so this thing needs to be defined a little bit. It's not something. It's something we're considering, but not to a very large extent. And like it was rightly pointed out. Yes, it's a long-term project that cannot really be covered within the few months left for this project. It's just one of the areas we are considering. And like Ukamaka just said earlier, we've not really concluded definitely on the priority areas with health. We have a number of them. So we might need to for now shelve one or two, and then deal with the ones that we can quickly deal with right now. Given the fact that this is the first time we are having this project in Nigeria, maybe subsequently we can now look at this climate change issue, and then of course we frame it in such a way that it can be worked under the scope of one project cycle. It's not going to be left open-ended. So that's what we're going to do it. For now, it looks like it might not be something that would be covered conclusively within the scope of this first project. Thank you.
Thanks. Just a quick one from Aneta. It's not a question, it's a request. which I think is a good one. She said, I want to say a very big thank you to IOM for a very clear presentation. Just a little feedback. Please, is it possible all host party could have their video put on, particularly our Nigerian hosts, so we all can put a face to the voice? Thanks. I think Chukwemeka have done that. I think if Okamaka can also do that, that would be nice, so that the Nigerian diaspora could see who they are talking to.
I want to add one more point also to this. Sorry.
Yeah.
To this, there are assignments indeed that take a bit more time than something punctual that can be done within 1 month. The project also allows for consecutive assignments. So if the overall objective of one assignment would be something very big, we can always decide to, once we have found an expert, to engage with the experts, let's say for a first assignment on 3 months, then a bit later in time, again 3 months, and then again 3 months. So there's a lot of flexibility within the project to look with the experts how much time would be needed to do something, and then we can always decide what would be the best way. So we've had in the past also experts that we have sent out several times because their assignment was quite large and quite ambitious. So we still have 2 years time, so it's possible to have assignments that are longer than 3 months as well.
Yeah, that brings me to a question, follow up with what you just said. So when you said 3 months, is it after the 3 months the assignment, the expert assignment ends, or does it continue throughout the duration of the project, or 3 months the function his or her assignment end, and the person can just move on? What does that mean in principle?
Normally, when we advertise a vacancy and when we put the time that is needed to accomplish, let's say, the task, it's an estimation of time that is needed. And then often we have vacancies where we put, okay, 3 months, which is easy for a physical assignment because then the person travels to a country. But if it's a virtual assignment, it's more complicated because nobody will be a full-time doing virtual assignments with people from host institutions. So we can, yeah, again, we're given the situation, we need to be flexible also. So I also know that not everybody has such a big amount of time available. So it's also possible that you see a vacancy that asks for 3 months and you think like, oh no, I have another job. I can never engage for 3 months, at least not consecutively. So then we can, you still need to apply. And then when it comes to making a work plan or how we're gonna extend this specifically in time, we can always see what your availability is as an expert and what the expectations are from the host institution. If you have a number of weeks per year that you have holidays, and if you would like to engage 6 weeks now and maybe 6 weeks a bit later in over the year, that would also be possible. So then it's just a matter of good communication between the experts, IOM, and the host institution, and then seeing what is possible to reach the objective the objective of your assignment. Because it's
Okay.
still a voluntary, it's still a little bit voluntary based, so it's not like we can ask people to quit their jobs and just and just be 100% available. So we try to be as flexible as possible to accommodate the time of everyone.
All right, thanks. Okay, that you've also answered the question from Atumonya. Actually, this we have less than a minute, but I will be glad if you can answer this last question, and then that will be the end. That's from Chris. I have listened to the expectation of Nigerian diaspora in the video presented. Apart from the job opportunities you've discussed, do you also have the possibility of helping the diaspora in reaching out to their respective goals by supporting them financially? Do you have financial budget available for this project in Nigeria? So this is the last question for the day.
Okay. I'm not sure if I got this correctly, but if the question is, Chris, if you're getting paid for doing this type of your work, yes, you will be paid for the for the time that you invest in this, and it depends also on the time it requires your assignments. If we send out people physically, I think it amounts to 2,250 a month. If it's virtually, I think it's like 1,200 a month, but then not for a full time. So of course the person is financially, I mean, gets a financial compensation. But it's nothing compared to a real job that you might have on the side. What we also do is we also help if an expert would have a mission that would require also some equipment or some other things to make it successful. We also have a budget for this. So imagine that in the health sector, you would need specific medical equipment for a successful assignment. Then we can purchase that equipment, or it can be other types of requests that might come in that you as an expert, you see that you would need some extra support to make it successful. Then we have some flexibility with this also. Also, host institutions, they can express to us their needs in terms of material support that they would need. So this is also possible through the project. And what we've also done in the past is if there is something that a project cannot financially support, but that would be useful for the objective of the project, and we try to set up crowdfunding campaigns to see if we then can still come up with the budget needed for anything related to the project. This is often something that is done by experts. Often when they come back, they think it would be nice to still do something for the host institution, or and then we try to also see where we can help the experts. And we've had some successful crowdfunding campaigns, for instance, in the past also.
Yeah, thanks. I think Chris now clarified the message. So his message was, he meant the expert that want to set up their project in Nigeria, is there any budget for them? So not linked to CD4D. I think that was what his question was. He clarified it now.
Okay. Then I didn't.
No, it's fine. It wasn't clear also for me as well, so it's
Okay.
fine.
For the experts that want to set up their project, no, there is no budget in CD4D. But again, if it's something related to the projects, we always try to see where we can help. And then we also are not so, IOM is a project based, so we also have to find our external funding somewhere. So we're not so flexible with a pot of money that we can distribute wherever we think it's useful. We also have to look for opportunities. But I think if it's small projects, we've been mostly successful again with crowdfunding.
All right.
And
Thank you. Yeah. So that's the end. If you can just sum the meeting up with this is actually the end. So if you can just sum the meeting up with the last observation that Julius just made, could it be assumed that some of the impacts of this project be seen as training of trainers at the end? Then that will be the end of the meeting, of the session. Could you please do that? So there is something that Julius wrote. Could it be assumed that some of the
yes,
impacts of this
sorry, yes.
project be seen as training of trainers at the
Yeah,
end?
actually, I think it's this. I think yes, you will build up the capacity of people that you will work directly with, and it's you can phrase it as a training of trainers in the end.
All right. So that everyone, thank you so much.
I
Doreen,
wanted to ask one last thing because I always
go.
like to take a group picture of everyone. So if everyone wants to put on their camera, I will try to take a a print screen, and then I can send it to everyone, and we will share the presentation, of course, and also the recordings of this session. I can see very nice, it's already very nice on my screen. So if other people want to turn on their camera, then we can take a nice family picture and we can all smile. Okay, so I will say 1, 2, 3, and then you take your nicest smile, okay? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, I think I took a very nice picture. So I really want to thank all of you for listening to us tonight, and also Nido also for taking this initiative together with us. I know it's Friday evening. People always like to do other things on Friday than listen to work-related stuff. But thanks for your patience and your time. And I have your emails of everyone, so I will share all the materials, and then I would just recommend you also to check our website regularly for opportunities that might fit your profile. And then I think our colleagues in Nigeria will be very happy to host you once physical assignments are possible again. Then you will meet them in person, probably.
Thank you for your time, and have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a nice
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice evening.
Everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, Doreen. Bye, Stanley.
Hey,
Bye.
thank you, Yvonne, for saving us
Bye.
technically.
Yeah. Bye, Yvonne. Thanks.
You could have left us a long time ago, but
Yeah,
it's fun.
true. All right, Doreen. I also have to go. I think it would be better
Of
if
course.
we have something else to talk. We can then have chat later on. Gigilas also
Don't
same with you
worry.
as well.
Don't
Yeah.
worry. Let us touch base on Monday, and then we
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Okay, Monday is fine.